Hey guys, what is up? It's Joel here coming to you today with something RxC. Today we're going to go through and talk about push-up virtuosity. So push-ups are something that a lot of us have done from a very young age, but have we mastered them? Alright, so we're going to talk about a certain standard that we want to have with our push-up and why we want to try and stick to that standard. So what we're going to first demonstrate is what a lot of people do when they do push-ups. So people put their hands on the ground, or maybe they have their feet really wide, and they just go to a quarter way or halfway into that push-up. So they're here. A lot of people look down, squeeze their shoulders, and do that. Now, if we look at that from an anatomical and physiological point of view, what's happening? So as we're going down, people look down, so they're putting their shoulders in a bad position, so we're like opening up our scapulars. From here, if I've opened up and I try and push my elbows back, my own shoulder blades are going to get into the way of opening my chest and depth into that push-up. Now, one of the things that we want to think about when we do a good push-up is, are we getting our elbows back enough? And what a lot of people do is they don't have any sort of body relation and correlation to what that elbow is doing. So, if we have a conversation about movement, can we get into a position where as I go down, bring my elbows back and press up. Elbows back and press up. Elbows back and press up. So the conversation goes from here to there. But for a lot of people, what they're doing with their head is going to first of all stop them from progressing into that elbow back position. So the first thing to fix is your head. When you're in that push-up position, instead of looking down, let's try and have a neutral head position or a slightly upward head position. And from there, maybe I'm going to aim to look at the second square on the ground here. I'm looking at the second line. I'm getting into that push-up position. I'm coming down, pressing up. And my shoulders and my elbows can freely move back to come down and to push up. The next conversation we need to have is about that forearm. Are we keeping that forearm vertical or are we creating an angle? A lot of people, when they go down into the push-up, bring their shoulders directly under their wrists and push those elbows back. So what that looks like is this. What we want to try and aim for is, imagine your shoulder like being a jug of water. You're tipping the water off the jar and you're coming back up. You're tipping the water off the jar and you're coming back up. So as I do the push-up from that position there, I want my shoulder to aim to be over my hand when it comes down and to come back. The next conversation is, what is our hip doing in relation to a lot of this? For a lot of people, their hip is going to be stuck. We want our hip and our shoulders to travel at the same time down and at the same time up. And if you find that your hip is staying too high like this, try and get it to travel with you as you're going up and as you're going down. So you want your whole body to be in a nice, good, tight plank position the whole way through. Alright guys, and the last bit of the conversation is going to be talking about our feet. So if our feet are nice and wide, it's going to be easier to go through that push-up, and if our feet are a little bit closer together and onto our tippy toes with our glutes squeezed, making that push-up a little bit harder, but getting us a little bit closer to that push-up virtuosity that we're looking to achieve. So keep aiming for virtuosity in your movement, guys. Break these movements down and see if you can get that little bit of extra performance out of all the basics. Try and master the basics, guys. Take care and peace.